In this video, we're going to talk about how you can tell what sites a particular device has visited. So to do that, we want to go to the Devices screen. On the left-hand side here, you can see the list of the most active devices over the past 10 minutes. Let's pick a particular device. Like, let's look at my desktop computer here. I obviously have activity on this device because this is the device that I'm doing the recording on. But we can drill down further into this and find out exactly what this device was accessing during that day. So if I go, well, first of all, you see the donut graph here that shows the types, the categorization of the sites that this computer went to on Monday. The bulk of it here was business and industry, and that accounts for 71%. But we can drill down further into this and find out exactly what this device was accessing during that day. So if I go, well, first of all, you see the donut graph here that shows the types, the categorization of the sites that this computer went to on Monday. The bulk of it here was business and industry, and that accounts for 71%. I could also click on, progressively smaller portions of this donut graph, and you can see 7% went to social media sites, 6% to research and information, 5% were unclassified sites, 4% to ads, and so on and so forth. Now, if we want to drill down into this and see more detail about exactly the subcategories that this site, that this computer went to, I can click the little circle I icon, and now we're going to see the large categories: business and industry, social, research and information, and so on. And I can click on one of those and see the subcategories in each one of those larger categories. So within business and industry, the 80% of the traffic in that category went to computer and internet info sites. 18% went to business and economy sites, 1% to computer and internet security sites, and then, below that we have shopping, travel, web hosting, government, and so on. So the biggest usage was in computer and internet info. So let's say we want to look at what sites that user visited or that computer visited on that day. I can go over here to the right, click here, and now it's going to show the list of every site that this computer accessed on that day, Monday, October 27th. By default, it's sorted by the domain name from right to left. So here you can see AC, cadmus.script.ac, have no idea what that is. We've got advertising.a to z.com, obviously, advertising site. Here's an Acrobat site and so on. So you'll notice it's sorted from right to left based on the domain name. Here's a bunch of adobe.com sites and so on. This is a pretty long list, and done this way, it may or may not be of interest, depends on what you're looking for. But if you want to see whether this site actually went to garmin.com, for example, sure enough it did. This site actually went to fly.garmin.com at some point. We had 3 web sessions to fly.garmin.com on that day. You can also sort, however, not just by the host name, which is the default, but also the number of connections that were made to the various sites. So if I go over here to the sort menu and choose hits, now it's going to sort the most used ones at the top of the list. Now these are all the sites that were actually accessed. Notice we also have a blocked category over here. Unfortunately, this computer did not try to access any blocked sites, so we're not seeing anything here. But if there were any sites that were blocked, they would show up in this list for the day that I've clicked. So that's how these things work. You can get you can see the high level detail back on this screen based on the sites, the various categories. You can drill down into the individual categories and look at the subcategories for each one of these. And then if you wish, you can even go down and look at the actual sites that were accessed by that computer on that day.